You know what? I'm just really proud of our guys. I thought that was a fantastic program win. And when I mean program, I mean everybody. Like, our training staff, strength and conditioning. This is this last game of the 4 games that we've had. Everybody really committed to making sure that we were ready to go. The players, the sacrifices that they're making, guys taking care of their body. I thought our bench was fantastic. Whatever minutes certain guys played, giving Big Johnny a blow. The preparation that went into this whole week, not just this last game. And I'm really proud of these guys. When they came back and they took the lead, we were struggling a little bit there defensively. We could have very easily folded and we didn't. And I give that credit to the leadership of this team. A little crazy that we missed our free throws down the stretch when we were shooting them so well. Turned the ball over in the first half, but we really cleaned that up in the second half, which gave us a chance. But again, what I saw tonight was a bunch of guys really connected and really playing for each other, which again, this is something that we've been working towards. And again, I know you gave up 78 points, but I thought we defended pretty well there for majority of the game. And again, we won the glass, we rebounded the ball, and we played without fouling. The formula continues to work when we do it the right way.
Thanks, Coach. As a reminder, there has been a Zoom update, so if you're looking for the raise hands function, it might be under reactions now, but we'll go ahead and begin with Mark Brennan, and then we'll see who comes on deck.
Jim, you touched on some of this, but when you have some of those things that make a coach pull his hair out, like the turnovers and the missed free throws, how do you balance that with knowing where your team was with these 4 games in 7 days and managing that in timeouts and whatnot? Thank you.
Yeah, well, these guys don't want to turn the ball over. They don't want to miss free throws. So it's not like, what are you going to do, yell at them? You got to keep instilling the confidence in them. We did some really good things. They are good free throw shooters. We normally don't turn the ball over. Obviously it was the 4th game of the week. I thought it showed up a little bit early. We didn't have that same energy that we usually fly around the court with. But to win the game without having that, I think that shows a credit to these guys and that we're getting better. And the trust. The guys just, when someone missed a free throw, don't worry about it. I got it. The next time it's free throw, I'll get it. We'll get it. So I really thought they showed a lot of character in that regard.
So next to Nate Bauer, and then I can't believe we would get through a media session without questions from Corey Geiger or Justin Morgenstein. So we'll go with Corey and Justin next.
Jim, you just touching to expand on the character comment that you just made. From a larger perspective, this has been an eventful year for you guys, for lack of a better word. To have that character, like you just said, show up in this type of a spot. I mean, do you think that they have grown and kind of developed? Have they gotten closer together through this process? And is that something that you see paying dividends in this type of a situation?
Absolutely. And I go back to John Harrah and Jamari Wheeler. I mean, those guys, the leadership that they've shown this whole year, and the leadership they certainly showed this week. I mean, Jamari's focus has been on everybody else. Making sure our shoot-arounds are great, making sure our practices are great. John, like I said, I could write a book about that kid, right? Just tremendous, just tremendous. And I also said it's about us playing games. Like, we needed games. And I think you're starting to see this group kind of come together as a group with more repetition on the court together. And but absolutely, I think the character in that locker room, and I've been saying it all year, even when we lose games, we have great character. And that's why these kids are going to be successful once this ball stops bouncing.
Corey Geiger, let's come to you next.
Jim, to find a way to win a game in the last minute or so, how important is that? And then, do you not like to foul in the last 5 or 6 seconds up 3?
Yeah, first of all, to win a game like that, to win any game is great. But to win it like that, because we had a lead and lost it in the Seton Hall game. So it was great to see our guys finish it, even though it wasn't smooth, right? We still, missed some free throws, but we still finished it. The foul and don't foul, there's arguments. People are going to tell you you're crazy, you should always foul. Like, you know what? I've won games by fouling. I've won games by not fouling. I've lost games by fouling, and I've lost games by not fouling. It's really, and Harvard has done some couple guys at Harvard did a thesis on it or whatever they did on it. I didn't go to Harvard, so I don't know if it's a thesis or not. I don't know what it's supposed to be. And it basically came out 50-50. So I know a lot of people say you got to automatically foul. But in that instance, concerning about the rebounding, if they missed a free throw. So in the end, we executed what we needed to execute to win it.
Let's go next to Justin Morgenstein, and then we're going to go to Evan Patrick.
Jim, Isaiah and MJ, 36 minutes tonight. Jamari and Seth, 35. Is that going to be, a new norm with Miles out? And what can you say just about those guys being so willing to take on those extra minutes?
Yeah, especially down the stretch. They're the most experienced guys, and we're going to play to win. And with Miles out, the bench was a little shorter. But don't for 1 second, don't think like those minutes Abdu played were huge for us. Huge. Johnny in foul trouble, Johnny getting a rest. Same with Kyle. I know he didn't play a lot of minutes, but those minutes are really big for us. And then it comes time, with Sam and the flow and Jamar, we went small for a while. We haven't done that in a while. So it'll be nice, once we get Miles back, I think we'll be have a little bit more depth. And again, TB got a little foul trouble today too, so that kind of shortened our bench a little bit.
And can I ask if you have an update on Miles?
It's, Miles is getting treatment every day. He's sad. We're just gonna, like I said the other day, just monitor it hour by hour, and see when it gets. So as soon as we know, we'll let you know.
Thanks, Justin. Let's go next to Evan Patrick, and then Otis Lyons, you're on deck.
Jim, how helpful was it having Taylor Battle on staff for game planning against Boo Booey? And then also, in these last few games, do you think the guys have maybe settled into their roles a bit more than they had earlier in the season?
I mean, I knew Taylor. He was a little off. He said that he actually in the locker room, he's like, man, thank God this is over. I just couldn't imagine how tough that must be, having to, compete and beat your brother. But Taylor Batter, man, he bleeds blue and white, man. He's Penn State all the way through. So, he was giving us some tricks, what he does, what he doesn't like, what Boo doesn't like. Boo's a really good player, man. He's a fantastic player. He made some big shots for him too. So I know he's excited that it's over. And then the second part of the question.
Do you think these last few games that the guys have maybe settled into their roles more than they had earlier in the year?
Yeah, I think so, no doubt. Again, it goes back to guys, playing games, right? We're finally getting in a groove where we played some games, starting to see what lineups work, what works together, what doesn't work together. So I think that's a big part of a team's development is, we can practice a lot, but game situations really show you what things are. So I think we're starting to figure that out. That's not just the guys, it's the coaching staff too, right? We're the ones making the decisions of, lineups and subbing and stuff like that. And again, I really thought the staff did a great job. I mean, I thought Ergo was fantastic defensively and him and Ross making the subs and Ross and I communicating about certain things and Taylor Bat, everybody. I thought the whole staff was really locked in. We've really, we're all starting to come together right now.
Let's go next to Otis Lyons.
Hey, Jim. Many times this season, you guys have gotten out to big leads with strong starts and then ultimately lose the game. In these last two games, you've won without that happening. Do you think there's something to be said for easing into the game and so you guys can finish strong?
Nope. I want to try to be up 30 every time we can. I just, kill them by one, right? Beat them by one. I don't know how to do it. I don't think I want to ease into a game ever. I think it's, and especially the way we play, right? We want to be explosive and go and go and go. So, no, we want to just try to play.
Dave Orlando, you have one question, and then we're going to go back to Justin Morgenstein, and that's going to be the end of this session before we bring in Isaiah Brockington.
Hey, Coach, how would you assess how your team has looked so far coming off the COVID pause?
Better. Obviously, I thought each game, well, I actually thought we looked rusty for the Purdue game, but then we kind of got going. I thought we looked exhausted in the Illinois game, but that could have been because of them. They really jumped us. And then I thought, we looked significantly better. We just looked more connected over these past two games. We weren't flying around as much today, but we were certainly more connected. So hopefully we keep this going. And that's what a season is about. It's about getting better. Okay, and sometimes you get better and you lose games, but the focus is on getting better. Our job is to get these guys as individuals better, to help them achieve their goals, but then as a team, we try to get better and better and better, and I think we're starting to see that. And again, this league, it's brutal. Sometimes you get better, but, the scoreboard doesn't say it, or, the play doesn't necessarily look that way. And I was saying that. After the Purdue game and after the Illinois game. I was saying, I know we're getting better. I'm seeing it. I'm watching it. And I think it's played out over the past couple of days.
My apologies, everyone. We're going to do two more questions. Nate Bauer, and then we're going to end with Justin Morgenstein.
Jim, just one more with the turnovers. Is there a certain amount that you're willing to live with, I guess, just based on the style of play that you guys have? What's the balance there between playing aggressively the way that you want and living with a certain amount in that end?
Nate, normally when you're establishing this style of play, you got to live with some of that stuff, okay? But we've been playing, pretty aggressively with good pace for the past couple of years, and certainly now we're playing at the best pace we've played. But this is uncharacteristic. I took the turnovers that we've had today and you know what they were today more so than I did? They were unselfish ones. I thought we turned the ball over today, guys trying to make the extra pass, or MJ was trying to dish it off to Abdu, and I was like, MJ, you should shoot that one and let Abdu go get it as an offensive rebound. But he's like, but Abdu was open, and you can't punish that, right? We're trying to play unselfishly, and I don't think we'll continue to do this. Maybe a little bit of fatigue, but I think we've done a really good job playing great pace and not turning the ball over. The goal is 10 or less. And if we can stay in that range, I think we have a chance to be pretty good offensively.
Thanks.
Justin, let's have you wrap it up, and then we'll have everyone step out before we bring in Isaiah.
Jim, I know most coaches will always say that every game's a must-win, but in your coaching career personally, have you ever experienced the more satisfying two-game win streak compared to where you'd be if you won and where you wouldn't if you did not?
I'm not one of those guys it's a must-win. I don't think I've ever really, championship games going to the NCAA tournament, I felt like it was a must-win if the season's over, if not, right? But I've never really approached it that way. I've always approached it like, get better. Let's focus on getting better. It's really rewarding to win games. I think it feels, it beats losing. I'll tell you that, right? It feels a lot better. And the biggest thing is being able to keep your confidence, like having mental toughness to be able to keep your confidence when you're losing games. And in this league, people are losing games. I mean, this is going to be another. The champ in our league might have 5 losses, might have 6 losses. So if you can, and I said it to the guys in the locker room, I thought we showed a lot of character and a lot of mental toughness to win these 2 games. And if you waste any energy or time thinking about losing or what it would be like if we lose these games, then you're probably in the wrong, profession or sport. I don't know if you should be playing sports if you think that way. It's never been an approach of mine. It's certainly not an approach of these guys in the locker room, that's for sure.